Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back KS family. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth and positive excellence in the process. And please note, I don't have WhatsApp or Telegram, but scammers do. This video is about caution. Double-digit gains are coming. And you might say, Ken, are you kidding? The market looks like that. The stock market looks like that. We're headed for a meltdown. I'll explain as we go through. One thing that I would like to explore very quickly before we get into the news is Rule 359. Be on the right side of the percentage. And in yesterday's episode 709, I showed you a variety of different trades that were made when the crypto market was blood red. And the outcome of those trades was a positive return on investment. When we look at the market right now, it's pretty red. People would say, you can't make money in a market like this. But when I looked at Quant, it had a particular setup that I liked. So in under around 2 hours, I made about 14% profit. And Rune was another very good trade. In around 1.5 hours, I made about a little over 20%. But there's a very specific reason I did these trades, and I want to share that with you in this episode. In the markets, the most important thing is that you don't gamble. You must know what you're doing. And for the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, I just want to make sure the Masterclass students understand that they look and of course go through each lesson one at a time. But have a look at LV21. That can give you some very, very good insights into how to BORSOG. And also please check out LV25, Midterm Election Volatility Secrets that you need to know. You will require all of the masterclass knowledge to do what I do. And that's why I created the masterclass, to actually transfer my skills and knowledge. The crypto market is not a happy market at the moment. It actually looks like exchange FTX is about to collapse, and that's just a tragedy. I mentioned yesterday that Binance was just considering buying FTX, and it had to do its due diligence. It did its due diligence, and what happened? They said, I don't want it. Many people thought it was a done deal that Binance would acquire FTX. I believed it was not so, and I pointed it out in yesterday's episode. We've seen a lot of issues in the crypto market. As it matures, these things are going to happen, and contagion risk is one of the things that we need to deal with. But also remember, when there's contagion, there is also great opportunity, but you need to know how to seize it. Over time, we'll find out just how deep the contagion goes. It will take some time to understand who is exposed and who isn't exposed to FTX and Alameda. In yesterday's video, I showed the Alameda Research website. It's now gone. Around $330 million worth of Solana is getting unstaked on November the 10th. So that could push prices in a negative direction. I just want you to be aware of this. Other news sources say about 54 million in Solana could be unstaked and unlocked. And this amount could be equivalent to around 15% of Solana's circulating supply. So expecting sell pressure would not be unreasonable. Meanwhile, in other news, the midterm elections continue. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, often crypto will lead the stock market and inform the stock market of what potential price action could occur, and we've seen the Dow fall by more than 600 points. Crypto is definitely making front page news, but not for the right reasons. And we've seen Meta lay off more than 11,000 employees. FTX and Alameda Research are taking absolute center stand at the moment. It's often really important to try to understand what will happen next, and if you were FTX or Alameda, you'd be trying to raise money. How do you raise money? by selling what you've got. What are you going to sell? FTT? Probably not. What about PaxG? That's the proxy for gold. Next, USDT. Next, Matic, Boba, Link, BNB, TLM, SRM, ETH, XAUT, USDT. You get the idea. What you actually want to do is to try to figure out how they would act. And also, how would that affect you? For example, if you're in Matic and you realize that FTX has $30 million worth of Matic and they might need to sell it, does that mean you should go all in and more on Matic or something else? So why on earth would I think double-digit gains are coming? Wouldn't it be the opposite? Wouldn't it be an absolute meltdown? Well, when we've seen $293 billion worth of market capitalization come off the crypto market, it's already been hit very, very hard. And Rule 4, price moves in waves, is always on the cards. What we actually see, when I started researching this video, we were all the way down here at the bottom, and there was a very strong chance that we would come back into this particular area. We've already started doing that. That's why I place one specific trade on Quant, because Quant has had a lot of investor attention, and I just wanted to put a little trade together for you to show how you can use the market's dynamics for your advantage, even when it's blood red. But one thing that we must keep in mind, there's a very strong magnetization level at $674 billion. So getting price to come down to here is now absolutely well and truly on the cards. And you might be saying, Ken, you're just contradicting yourself. How could we be magnetized down here? That's going to be billions and billions of dollars lost. Why would we get double-digit % gainers? And that's what the games of the institutions are all about. They want to attract people back in. They want these green candles so that they can actually cover their positions and then go short again. Please bear this in mind. Another reason I did the quant trade, because the price of Bitcoin has just fallen through a major level of support at 16,626. It was very, very likely to come back to this 16,626 level and perhaps even go above that. Just as we look at total crypto market cap, there's also a magnetized level for Bitcoin, and that is 13,900. But again, why would I consider double-digit green days are coming? What on earth would predict me to say something like that? With all the bad news everywhere, the institutions must push up price to attract retail back into the market. The only way that retail gains certainty is to literally see double-digit gainers. They may push it down further and double-digit it up in a few days. I'm not saying it's coming tomorrow, but I am saying it is definitely coming. The key is, will you be prepared mentally and financially when that does occur? We've had two previous midterm elections, one in 2014 and one in 2018, and they were both very, very different at the starting point. And what we saw was in 2018, the Trump midterm election, things sold down, and they sold down rather hard. And the Barack Obama 2014 midterm election, prices actually went up quite substantially. We're witnessing something that's very, very close to the 2018, but in a much more compressed time frame. Keep in mind that we're going to get the CPI reading coming up very, very soon. If the CPI print is hotter, that will melt the markets. If the CPI print is cooler, if it's actually starting to turn over, that will make the markets rally. So just be aware of this. And what are the markets telling us? We can see we're getting a bit of a kick up in the VIX, the fear gauge of the market. And we've been anticipating this for quite some time. The VIX needs to spark up because that's just natural price reaction. If the VIX doesn't move in a wave, if it comes down too far too fast, it is very, very unhealthy, and we can see traumatic sell-offs as a result of that. So it's really important that it doesn't do that. It stops doing that. VIX, don't be so naughty. We can see junk bonds have been selling off, so the risk appetite is not in the market. We can also see the Nasdaq 100 coming down, oil retracing, bond yields starting to curl over. This may mean forward advance notice that the CPI print will come in cooler than expected, and bond prices starting to recover. We can see that the US dollar currency index has just staged a little bit of a retracement, but not too much, and gold has been doing incredibly well. The markets could literally go either way at the moment. Please let me know in the comments, which way do you think it would go based on these particular 8 charts? And what are we seeing with the Nasdaq? The Nasdaq entered a very heavy selling area, and it's been pushed away from that. At least on a short-term basis, we haven't taken out the low, yet we're still supported by an uptrend. And there is an area of smart money just below. The S&P 500 did actually trade below its support level, and it's in an open air level as well. There's no smart money to stop it actually falling down towards the next level, which is between 37.12 and 36.84. But you can see there's quite a lot of smart money support around those levels, all the way down to 36.24. So what we may see is negative price action, maybe for the next couple of days, followed by that double-digit couple of days. Just keep this in mind. Apple, which is one of the largest firms in existence, has also lost its support line. But the important thing to bear in mind, there is a smart money buy level, a smart money buy zone between 129.29 and 132.23. So that actually may capture Apple's price and push it back up, just further supporting our idea that in a couple of days we may see these double-digit gainers, and that will be a signal to the retail herd to come in and buy. And we would expect, with all that's happening, for the price to come and continue down lower, because it's actually under some pretty key levels. Okay, so what that means, we may see a retracement into support, a testing of the line, and a resumption down. Our double-digit gain day could be a couple of days away, but just bear in mind, these days always happen. Looking at the Stanfield levels on Tesla, that's not looking too good. Tesla's actually just breached a very strong smart money buy level, and it's turned to resistance. So we would expect Tesla to fall through this air gap, potentially to the 132.50 mark or 148.28, and it could come down into here, then bounce back up to test this particular smart money resistance level between 185.70 and 207.81. So why do we look at the stock market? We're all about crypto. Because we know Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. And when we look at Microsoft, another very, very important firm, we can see it was rejected by the smart money sell level from 230 upwards to 237. It's currently 224. But look at the amount of smart money buying just underneath that particular price, ranging from 204 to 221. Again, this supports the hypothesis that we could see more negative action, maybe for the next couple of days, and then a big double-digit gainer day, or maybe even 2. And that's to pull retail back in when they're basically given up. The retail crowd hangs in Zone 1 and Zone 2. The smart money crowd is in Zone 3 and Zone 4. It's incredibly important to estimate how the institutions will deal with this price volatility. It can give you a lot of edge inside the market. Institutions know that retail buys on green and it sells on red. Making sure that retail comes back is how institutions make their money. I want to give you a secondary Armageddon line. When the S&P falls below 3577, it could signify a very nasty sell-off. Just be aware of this. If the institutions permit the S&P 500 to fall below that key level, 3577, it could be on for young and old. Institutions try to trap the maximum number of retail traders and investors, so they're likely to pull the price back to here, the S&P 500, and then rally it up to get the retail herd to come back in just before they sell it off. I really believe that there's a lot more negative price action in these markets. It's really important that you be very, very fast and quick and agile with your trades. We know that all investors become traders anytime they buy or sell, but the big difference between investors and traders can be very, very fast and very agile, and they typically have a sell target in mind based on what the actual market is doing and the current events impacting the market. Often investors will just hodl for many, many years, because they just think, oh, this is going to go up. So when it gets to, for example, 20x, I'll just get out then. But it's very, very hard to do. Gaining synchronization into the market is critically important for every investor and every trader. A lot of investors say it doesn't really matter when I buy. I'll just buy on Monday of each week. It's much better to buy, if you're an investor, when the market absolutely melts. That's the time to buy. And BORSOG comes from rule 621 of the Masterclass, which is buy on red, sell on green. It's all about synchronizing in with the market and then scaling when you're feeling synced in. But if you're unsynced from the market, if you desynchronize, just descale. This is a way to teach you to buy and to sell, and the selling is the key part. And that's exactly why we do this BORSOG code each and every day. It's our daily three-dimensional risk management. We think, if the market goes down, what happens to my portfolio? If it goes neutral, what happens? If it goes up, what happens? Typically, retail will only think in one direction, and generally that direction is the opposite of the direction that it's actually going. And please have a look at episode 685 to see a full breakdown of this BORSOG code version 3. One thing that institutions always do as well is they want you to get familiar with things not breaking, and then they break them all of a sudden. That's why I've been talking about the Armageddon line for literally months now, because that 18,942 level signified a lot of negative pressure to come on prices. And in crypto, you can see how just incredibly volatile it is, but it's not as volatile as some of the stock market stocks, especially the FANG stocks. It seems the stock market is acting like crypto at the moment. And I'd like to thank all the community members who reached out and said, thank you, Ken, for helping me understand the Armageddon line and what could have happened with midterm elections. It's really helped a lot of people, and that's wonderful. That's why I'm here. One thing to bear in mind, as we get closer and closer to this 16,626 level on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is currently 16,294, we will get magnetized to that line. If we get above it is one thing. If we do get above it, we could spike above it, and that could turn a lot of things green. A lot of people will think the bottom is in. Personally, I don't think so. I think there's much more negative price momentum to come forward through the crypto market, but that's because of statistical analysis. But of course, that doesn't mean it will always happen. A lot of people said that Bitcoin will never ever go below 20,000. I didn't hold that assumption or that assertion. Bitcoin will go wherever it does. We just have to keep on the right side of the synchronization of Bitcoin. If we keep our synchronization up, we'll be making money no matter where it goes. And when turning to the longs and the shorts, we can see the shorts have started to curl down. They're starting to get whacked by the longs, and the longs have been very heavily liquidated, but they're starting to come in and buy the dip. This is anticipated because we know what the key level is in the market. It's this 16626 level. We may actually go above that because these lines tend to wobble around in terms that they don't just perfectly reject price or capture it. They often go above or below, depending on the strength of either sellers or buyers. But we do know a lot of people got severely hurt in this sell-off. And when it comes to liquidations used under leverage trading, 337,276 positions were liquidated, and to the tune of 593.27 million. And if we look over the past 24 hours, about 65% were long. Over the past 12 hours, say 65% long as well. Over the past 4 hours, about 72% short, and over the past hour, 83% short. This is really important to understand. When certainty just breeds losses, and this is an unfortunate thing, when people want certainty, for example, all the shorts got liquidated, and a lot of people said, oh, fantastic, Bitcoin will never go below 20,000. We knew that the market was becoming imbalanced. There were a lot of shorts liquidated. That meant that it would take very, very little to liquidate the longs, and that's what we've actually seen now. We want balanced markets. Rule 114 from the Masterclass. Markets penalize certainty. If you're absolutely and utterly certain that the market will go a specific direction, and you're thinking from a retail mindset, or your smart money thinking from a retail mindset that it's certainty, it must go down, it's probably going to reverse. I've done a lot of research to try to identify what FTX and Alameda Research are primarily invested in. And what you can see here on the charts, these are some things to keep your eye on. Of course, FTT. FTT has come down nearly 90%, and that's caused so much pain to so many people. If you're in pain and you're hurting from these financial losses, of course, everybody feels for you. It's tough. It's really hard to go through. But just think about this. You're actually getting set up for the next life rally. And if you're going through a life pullback, please know that our global family's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone, and the sun will come out again, and you are being set up for the next life rally. You're just gaining strength at the current time. If FTX goes into liquidation, it's quite likely that FTT could go to zero. If it doesn't go to zero, it could become a meme coin. And it doesn't mean you can't make money trading FTT. You're sure to be able to, but I think it's very, very risky. We saw with Luna. Luna could make a lot of money, but it cost a lot of people a lot. Some cases, everything they had. Of course, the buy or sell decision must be yours, but just keep aware of the risks. And when we look at Solana, there's a lot of locked Solana that's going to become unlocked. That could throw negative price momentum, but the markets are always trying to kill certainty. They're always trying, the smart money, the institutions are always trying to wrong foot retail investors and traders. So what we see here with Solana at the moment, it is in fact going up. But why is that? Because Bitcoin is going up, and we saw that recently. We can see SRM, one of the holdings of Alameda Research. It has staged a bit of a comeback of late. It doesn't mean all of these tokens, all of these cryptos are going to go into the bin. It doesn't mean that at all, but it does mean you need to be careful. LDO is another one. Render, RNDR is another. Oxy is another. Maps and Feeder are some more. Turning to the top cryptos, we know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, so your beloved alts are coming up with Bitcoin as well, in all probability. 99+% would be coming up, and we can see BNB just going for it. XRP coming up as well. ADA, well done Charles. Doge coming up as well, quite a nice increase. Matic coming up, SHIB coming up, and Tron coming up. These are the redone top 8 cryptos because, of course, there's just been so many changes in the market, and unfortunately Solana has dropped out of the top 8 alts. FTX is a centralized exchange just like Binance. What I looked at, these are the DEXs, or the decentralized exchanges. You can see the majority are coming up at the moment. I was very interested in Rune because it sold off so traumatically that I expected a sharp angle to reflect, and that's exactly what it did. And I had sell orders all the way up here, and they executed. And I place those orders in because I feel that I'm synchronized in with Rune's actions. And when you're synchronized in with a specific crypto, you can actually always pretty much find yourself on the right side of the percentage. You can be on the wrong side of the trade, just like this is. This is absolutely and utterly on the wrong side of the trade. But what was the return? The return in Rune was about 20%, and that was in about 1.5 hours. You can see that you can actually turn your money over quite effectively. But don't guess and don't gamble. You need knowledge to do this. And the knowledge to do this I share inside the masterclass. You might like to keep your eye on the DEXs. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of conversations on decentralized exchanges. I'll share some more trades with you tomorrow, and we can see the total crypto market cap has come down 8.42% to 827.72 billion. The greatest gainers in the past 24 hours, Lunacy, Maker, and stablecoins. Remember, stablecoins mean something. Please let me know what you think it actually means to price action tomorrow. And the greatest losers in the top 100, FTT down 52.83%, Solana nearly 30% down, LDO a little over 21%, Carver 21%, Curve CRV down a little under 21%, and Nexo around 17.4% down. The key is to keep your eyes on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is recovering, it will pull your beloved alts up with it. And if we look through GameFi, we can see Sand tracking Bitcoin's gravity, Mana doing the same, Axie Infinity doing the same, Engine Coin, wow, what a spike, fantastic. GMT tracking Bitcoin's gravity, Gala tracking Bitcoin's gravity as well, MC and WaxP all tracking Bitcoin's gravity. This is what particularly happens when Bitcoin sells off really hard, really fast. Everything comes back into alignment. Yesterday in the comments we talked about courage, and there were so many incredible responses in there. And Free Dentist shared, I'm quite relaxed thanks to Ken and Kate after a good year where I invested in myself. The masterclass, the daily videos, the coffee club, all potential gold if you do the effort and stop fighting against your natural emotions. Harvest lies ahead if you have the courage to think and act in a more objective way. The redder the better is no fantasy. It's where you can make loads of profit if you have learned the rules and respect them. Don't just jump on everything. You need to know what you're doing. Thank you, Free Dentist. Really good comment. And Jade said, being prepared helps to be brave and courageous. When you go in with a plan, it will give you more strength. Thank you, my friend. And well done to everybody who puts in their BORSOG codes. The market will reward your active learning, your knowledge, and your courage. If you have family or friends who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do here each and every day, 7 days a week, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. When price is just taking off, we need a lot of courage. And what we do as smart money, we don't side with retail investors and traders, because retail just does this. When the price comes down, they literally leave the dance floor and go up the wall. I have been sharing trades to show you that you can make money, and I have plenty to share with you. But the concept is, I don't want you to gamble, and I want you to make sure that you know what you're doing. What typically happens when price comes down and everybody leaves the dance floor, the smart money, the institutions, play the best music, they start to raise the price. And that's when people come tentatively back, and then they add to the position. And what does smart money do? What do institutions do? They lower the price. That's why you've got to be really careful about institutional thinking. You must be aware of it. If you follow any retail influencers, they'll just have you hiding under the bed and scared out of the market when the best opportunities are there. You want to be in the market when there's nobody on the floor, just like this. When people have literally gone up the wall, you want to say, wow, I'm in. This is the best time to get in, because it literally is. Keeping a positive attitude is incredibly important in trading and investing. That's why we have the CTKS Creed, which is a series of positive affirmations that you can use to prime your mind for profitability, to get on the right side of the percentage. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities in life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. Those positive affirmations that you tell yourself, they're so important. They also prime your mind for a happier life, and that's what it's all about realistically. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.